Okay.
Hold on. Where are you going?
Sorry for the wait.
Why did you go transform in the bathroom?
Because it's really embarrassing.
That's the way, Berserker! She's got the ability to regenerate her body, so you can violate her after beheading her!
You know what really grinds my gears?
The weird inability some people have to differentiate between characters with the same name. Superhero comic characters definitely have this the worst. Like when people talk about one of the movie Batman and someone will bring up the comics for no reason, or will instead talk about the idea of Batman. You know, the vague concept that they have in their head of the character as opposed to a specific version. Fate doesn't have this as bad, but it's still a thing. Obviously, there's a lot of versions of King Arthur both in and out of Fate, but this is even an issue with Fate's original characters. Like the title character of this video, Illya von Einsburn. Because Illya and Prillya have nothing in common. Yes, I'll be calling Prisma Illya Prillya to make differentiation easier. They don't even look the same. Illya is an albino with white hair, whereas Prillya has platinum blonde hair. Kuro has far more in common with Illya personality-wise than Prillya does. And for some reason pink hair, despite the fact that Archer has white hair. Also, she can fly and teleport for some reason. And since she gets her powers from the Archer card, apparently Shiro could do that the whole time in the war and just chose to die against Hercules in the Fate route despite being able to escape. And he's not flying when carrying Rin, he's jumping, but apparently he could fly the whole time and just chose not to. I really don't get how some people refer to Prisma Illya as the Illya route. That's like saying Michael Keaton in The Flash was a sequel to The Dark Knight Rises. They're different characters. In order for Prisma Illya to be the Illya route, the character Illya von Einsburn would need to actually be in it. Illya has as much in common with Prillya as Batfleck does with Adam West. I know it's due to a different studio doing the dubbing, but I think the dub does this better for Prisma Illya, because in the Japanese Illya is voiced by Mai Katawaki, who also voices Prillya, but not Kuro. She's voiced by Chiwa Seitu. In the English dub, Illya is voiced by Stephanie Sheh, Prillya by Cynthia Martinez, and Kuro by Kira Vincent Davis, who also voiced Lucy from Elfen Lied. I feel like either all three characters should be voiced by one actor, or each character should get their own actor. So even though it's only a result of licensing issues, I think it's better for each character to have their own actor. Also, when the fuck are they going to get around to dubbing Season 3 and the movie? I've been waiting forever to see more of the best magical girl Yuri. Also, in the anime making key to...
Simple! We sell more DVDs with TNA!
Sure, if they put this scene in the trailer.
That's best girl Monica Riol, by the way. Anyway, Stephanie voices a kid cosplaying as Prisma Illya.
Compact flow open! Expanding connection to alternate realities. It is your fate to meet the new Khaled liner, Prisma Illya! My ovaries ache. Seriously cute. Totally cute. Ridiculous. Come on, girls. You're starting to freak the poor thing out.
Since, as we all know, Prisma Illya is a kid's show.
Something for old family.
But this is just so weird, because Stephanie has never voiced this character in her entire life. This anime is literally the closest she's ever gotten to playing Prillya, and it's not like she's even a cast member already playing a character. They specifically went out of their way to bring her in as a reference to a character she's never played. I mean, I appreciate the effort since a lot of people wouldn't bother with it, but I feel like it's kind of misplaced since Stephanie doesn't play that character. If they wanted the cosplay to sound like the real Prillya, they should have gotten her actual dub actress Cynthia Martinez. You know, in 2016 and 17 they made animated sequels to the 60s Batman show with the original actors, but imagine if they made those movies and got Michael Keaton. He might be Batman, but he's not that Batman. You know, the whole thing of Prisma Illya being the Illya root doesn't even make sense. Not only because Prillya is a different character, but because we know a lot about the planned Illya route for Stay Night, unlike the Medusa route or the loli Medea route that never got past the idea phase. They straight up wrote the whole Illya route and made multiple scenes. The first trailer has a scene with Illya and Shiru at a teddy bear shop which isn't in the game but got reused in the sequel Hollow Ataraxia. Also, fun fact, the invention of the teddy bear is based on Teddy Roosevelt, the best U.S. president. The reason people make the joke that Illya is the heroine of Heaven's Feel is because they finished multiple scenes for her route and moved them to Heaven's Feel. The ending of Illya saving Shiru with the dress of heaven is from the Illya route. Yes, she was supposed to die in her own route. Because Illya is a true Emiya who only knows how to lose. The reason for cutting the Illya route was purely due to time constraints. They put a release date on the trailer that they couldn't meet, meaning they either had to delay the game. But they're still a fairly new company and need a game out for money, or their other idea of splitting the game into Fate/Stay Night with the King Arthur and Rin routes, and Fate/Other Night with the Sakura and Illya routes. But because of the price they needed to set, they thought only 2 routes wouldn't be enough content. So, their ultimate decision to cut the route they haven't finished for time is understandable. But there really is no excuse for them not finishing the game in the past 20 years. Especially considering how they keep re-releasing the game, with the only new content being Ufotable making a new anime opening for each route. As a matter of fact, the games have less content since they've cut the hentai scenes due to censorship. Because the company is embarrassed about being built by hentai. Kind of like how Paramount is embarrassed by being the house that Jason built. Unlike New Line, which is very proud of being the house that Freddy built. To be honest, being embarrassed by the thing that made you popular really is
pathetic.
Making the Illya route wouldn't even be that hard. We even know when the route split was supposed to happen. In Heaven's Feel, there's a choice when talking to Illya where Shiru can pick between staying true to his ideals or becoming Sakura's superhero. But in the Illya route, you'd have the option to pick to be Illya's superhero. They could very easily move the Illya route scenes from Heaven's Feel and Hollow Ataraxia to the correct route and finish the scenes they didn't get to do originally. Like Illya's hentai scene, which we actually know plenty about. You were actually going to get to pick which lingerie she wears. I think the black looks way better, the white blends in with her skin too much. Also, the hentai scene was going to be a foursome with her maids.
Nice.
They actually made a hentai scene for the bad end in the Fate route where she rapes Shiru if you agree to join her when she kidnaps him. They straight up made a whole hentai scene which they cut because she wasn't getting her own route.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Also, in multiple bad ends, she takes Shiru's soul out and puts it in a teddy bear, and Sidney, who possesses Illya, has a bear which is called Shiru. The implication being that she possesses an Illya from a bad end and that her polar bear is literally Shiru. I wish that for the 10-year anniversary of Stay Night that they had made an Illya update finishing her route instead of making Grand Order for gambling addicts. Also, random.
I did not care for The Godfather.
Moment, but I don't care for Grand Order. The more I learn about it, the more I dislike it. And the more it sounds like something Disney would make after buying a company. And for a matter of fact, for the 15-year anniversary re-release, they actually said they'd finally finish the Illya route, and then just didn't.
Fuck you too!
Illya really is my favorite Fate character, but unlike other characters, she really has gotten overshadowed by her inferior variant. Kind of like Gwen Stacy and Spider-Gwen, I mean, for the life of me I can't find a single hentai website that gives Illya her own tag. Kuro has her own, but Illya just gets lumped in with Prillya, and there's so much Prillya hentai that I can never find any of the real Illya. Bunch of nonsense preferring the 10-year-old over the 18-year-old. Illya's way hotter than Prillya. I mean, not as hot as Kuro, who's objectively the hottest girl in Fate, but still Illya is best girl. Speaking of which, someone finally voted for Best Girl Illya on the last Fate poll. Well, barely anyone watches the Fate videos, and I doubt you'll have stuck with this pointless ramble to the end considering how much of the mickey I've been taking, but if you did, I hope you at least found it mildly amusing. Well, that's everything.
Goodbye.